Okay, is everybody logged into itslearning and then in your staff course in itslearning? Once you're on your staff course page, make sure in the planner you're showing today so you can see today's lesson. And then I have the beginner on level training right there first thing. We're going to do basically just 3 things today. I want to just talk about the itslearning gradebook. If you want to turn that on, that's available for you. I think I've talked about that in the past, just to remind you how to do that and why you might want to do that. We're going to look at what is blended learning. And then we're going to do a choose your own training today. So you get to create what you would like to create. So first off, let's talk about the itslearning gradebook. It is optional if you want to turn this on. The reason you might want to turn it on is if you are giving a lot of online tests and quizzes in itslearning, or if you're giving your students assignments that you're grading in itslearning. It's a lot easier to get the grades out of itslearning to type them into Infinite Campus if you have the gradebook turned on. Now I've attached the directions here in the planner on how to do that. You have to go in and turn it on in each individual course. Once you've got it turned on, as you add tests or assignments, you just get prompted to go ahead and put that in the gradebook. The gradebook is here under follow-up and reports once you do turn it on. But all the directions you need are right here, so you can just look at that document if you're interested in turning it on. Once again, completely optional, only if you want to use it. Everybody okay with that?
Does it transfer the grades? You have to transfer.
You still have to transfer the grades. We are working with Infinite Campus, and we actually 3 weeks ago saw a prototype of where they are gaining ground and getting Infinite Campus and itslearning to talk to each other. So we're optimistic. Feels good? Okay, let's look a little bit at blended learning. I have a short video here that I want to start with, so just watch up here.
I'm on my computer a lot.
Email,
Google Docs,
Google Search,
Snapchat.
Technology has revolutionized our world. We can connect and learn
Photoshop,
and create and share. We have immediate, improved, and personalized access to the world.
Google.
Nothing in our modern lives remains untouched by this powerful transformation,
Instagram.
except for education. The big idea behind blended learning is combining online learning in brick-and-mortar schools with teachers where students can learn at their own pace so that they can optimize their individual learning.
Combining the best of teacher instruction and computer-based instruction.
The world that we live in today isn't about paper and pencil, it's about computers. Having our kids become comfortable and familiar with that now is going to better prepare them for the world when they leave this school.
Blended learning can actually personalize for every student's individual needs to meet them where they are when they need it.
We are doing students and ourselves a great disservice to assume they all learn in the same way. So we need something new, and that's blended learning.
When you walk into a blended learning school, what you'll see is small groups of students off with their computers working away on online learning programs, and another group of students in small groups doing rich interactive projects with each other and really collaborating as peers.
I'm able to now focus on smaller groups of kids, give them more individual attention, and help them with their individual learning styles.
Before, you're moving at the pace of the average of your 30 kids. Now you can really move at the pace of each individual student.
The teacher has the opportunity to look at data in the moment, in the minute, to know where our kids are immediately, informs instruction in the next period or the next morning.
In a regular classroom, it might take a week for you to get your test back. I can take a test twice in one class, get my feedback almost instantly, and figure out what I need to improve on.
Blended learning makes you in charge of your pathway, knowing how to navigate what you need and when you need it.
And that's true learning and knowledge. It's when you're able to apply content into real life.
All 50 million of America's students deserve the opportunity to have blended learning so that they can personalize their education and realize success in life.
50 million.
50 million students.
50 million
50 million
students. 50 million.
50 million students
in America.
in America.
50 million students in America.
So when we adopted itslearning 3 years ago, that was the model that we adopted it with. We wanted to continue to do what you've always done in your classroom and just supplement it with itslearning alongside. So you could give your students activities to do both outside of school and during the school day using their devices. We have come a long way in 3 years' time. We have gone from how do we use this to we are daily using this in the classes. And I feel like as a district, we have mastered posting things on the planner and uploading files into the tree. You agree with that? Even our new teachers this year, they already know how to do that. So I have a goal this year to move everybody further along the path and make It's Learning more engaging for the students. So not just a place where, hey, this is where I go find homework, or this is where I have the worksheet that I may have forgot to take home with me today, but actually have them doing things in your courses more. So I'm going to have you guys build more interactive activities in your courses this year. If you would, let's see out of here. If you look there on your dashboard, in the tree with your in the planner with your lesson, click on this folder that I've linked, Exemplar It's Learning Samples. So you are looking at a folder of folders about the 6 greatest features that you can use in It's Learning. These are all features that I've trained you on in the last 3 years. I want to just recap what they are, and then you're going to choose one of the 6 that you want to create today. So assignments, remember, that's just where students can digitally turn in work to you. So you just kind of type up what the assignment is, they complete the assignment, submit it back to you. The assignments are only between you and the student. Nobody else sees what they submit, nobody else sees the feedback that you send them. Custom activities. These are ways that you can actually grade your students, give them digital feedback on assignments that they haven't turned in through It's Learning. So on the assignments, they turn them in digitally. Custom activities, they're not turning in the project digitally. It could be a presentation in class. It might be a fine arts class that they're performing something. It might be a PE class where they're out doing the sports. It may be they handed you a scrapbook or they gave you a poster. I'm just going to look at these really quickly just to remind you what they look like, because when you go in to look at samples, they're not going to look the same on your view as a student as they do on mine as a teacher. So I'm going to go into one of these real quickly. I'm just going to go into the soccer rubric here. So there's the description of what you're going to be grading. The students would see all this information over here. They can click assessment criteria and actually see the rubric that you're going to use to grade them with. As the teacher, if you scroll down the page, you'll actually see all of your students listed here. So let's say Rita is out here playing soccer and I'm going to evaluate her. I'm going to click assess, and then the rubric's going to come up. So I'm just going to be watching her. I'm going to say, okay, how's she doing dribbling the ball? Oh, she's proficient. So I'm going to click on the rubric where she falls. It's going to keep that highlighted for me. It's going to give me an area that I can comment, give feedback, say, you're doing great in this aspect, might need to improve in this one. Then I'm going to go down, how's she doing on trapping? And just continue clicking in each of the areas that I'm evaluating. So I'm just going to finish this up here. And then notice down here, It's Learning's going to total it for me. When I click save, go back to that main screen, I'm going to now see what I gave Rita. I can tweak that, so maybe she actually did do a little bit better in one area. I can edit that 18 possibly to a 19 or a 20. I can put more comments here as well. If the students are working together as a group on a project, or they submitted a project together, I could actually grade multiple kids at the same time. So notice I've got boxes here. So let's say that Tori and Eddie and Kathy are all in a group, so I would check all the students that are in the same group. I'm going to go up on that list and I'm going to say I want to assess multiple. It's going to put those 3 students together for me. And then under Learning Objective Assessment, I'm going to say I'm going to set assessment. That rubric's then going to come up. So as I choose areas on the rubric, all the kids are going to get the same scores, all the kids are going to get the same feedback when I've grouped them together. After you've graded everybody, you can click right here, make available, and that releases the scores to all students. So that's a nice way, like I said, get digital feedback on something that wasn't submitted digitally. Okay, I'm going to go back to that folder of samples. The third type of items we talked about were online discussions. So the entire class is completing a discussion. They're sharing their thoughts, their opinion, ideas. All students see everybody else's comments. Notes. Think of a note as a big white sheet of paper. And you can just put whatever you want to on it. It could just be all text. It could be you embed videos on it. It could be that you have pictures in there, diagrams. But it's just whatever you want to share with the student on a note. The biggest area that it's been used for across the county is to embed those YouTube videos right in the note. Pages. Pages are a way for you to organize all the resources or information on a topic or unit. So you can put all the files for your unit, all the websites you might use in that unit, all the videos you might use for that unit. Kids only have to go to the one page and they have access to everything. And then tests, obviously, would be online test quizzes. So everybody good with those six? So I want you to pick one of the six. Which one do you think would be the easiest for you to use in one of your classes sometime in the next month? So pick which one you want, and then click on that folder. So let's say I chose assignments, so I'm going to click on sample assignments. You're then going to see some samples of that particular item. These are all items that have been created by Forsyth County teachers, and they gave me permission to share them as exemplars. So if you just want to look through some of those samples and just kind of get some ideas on what you can build and how you can make it, give you a little time here to look at those, and then we'll come back with an assignment. Okay, now that you know which one you want to do, if you would, go back to the course dashboard. And with today's lesson, open the page that I linked there, Choose Your Own itslearning training.
Staff.
Yeah, still in the staff course, go on the dashboard, look for the lesson in the planner, and then click on the resource called Choose Your Own Training. Yes, okay. All right, I'm going to make this larger. I'm going to collapse my tree by hitting the double arrows here. So what I have here for you is, first block has all the directions of what I need you to do. You've already done step one. You just chose which of the 6 activities you want to do. Step 2, you're going to go over to the Google form that I've embedded in the second block, and you're going to submit your selection. Now, if your Google form did not load, so if it says something about content not available or you don't have permissions or something like that, go up to More, click on Google Drive. Once your Google Drive opens, then go back to itslearning and refresh the page. That should then load that form if it didn't load for you initially. Right at the beginning of the address bar. Okay, so in that block, I just need you to complete the form. So you'll go down, type in your last name, type in your first name, choose your school, and then the last question, click whichever one of the 6 you're going to be completing. And then there's a submit button at the bottom. Now the third step in that box of directions says then find the block that corresponds to whichever item you chose. So if you scroll down that page, let's say I'm going to do the custom activity with the rubric. So I find the block that corresponds to what I'm going to do. Notice I've given you a brief description as to why you would use that particular item. Then I gave you an assignment, what I need you to complete for me. And then I've linked the how-to directions for you. So what I want you to do is open those how-to directions, go to your actual course, and then build that item in your course. Start building it today, so I'm here to help you, answer any questions that you might need. Continue building it if you don't get it all done today, and then use it with one of your classes in the next month. When I come back next time, we'll then submit them and talk about what worked and didn't work.